In this video, I will give you a little tutorial on a pay calculator. So here's the problem setup. Basically, we have a little script that calculates a person's pay. So the user is going to enter the number of hours worked and their hourly pay rate, and if it's more than 40 hours, then they're going to get time and a half. And then we're asked to modify this so that workers get paid double time for time over 60 hours per week. So let's just put this in MATLAB. And I find that a problem like this is actually best done with a script and a function. So let's start with a new function. Well, that's a new script, so let's get a new function. And we'll just copy and paste the code in. So for this function, we're not going to specify any input, so I'll get rid of that. And I'm not going to specify any outputs either. This is just going to do its job. It's going to prompt the user, so there's no need for functional inputs, and it's going to display the pay. We'll save this. And now over here, I'll drag my other window, and this is going to be a script. So all we do is type the function name, and we'll save it and run it. So now we're running it. MATLAB prompts us for the hours worked. Let's say 40 hours. And to make math easy, let's just say $10 an hour. And it says, okay, pay is $400. And that's what we expect. Now, if we put in a different amount, so I'll run that program again, test calculate pay, and let's ask for pay at 50 hours. So 50 hours, same rate. And we ask if that makes sense, right? So for the first 40 hours, the worker got $10 an hour, and that's $400. But then the last 10 hours, beyond 40, they should have gotten time and a half. So 10 plus 5 is 15, and then 15 times 10 gets us 150. So this 400 plus 150 is 550, and that makes sense. Now we want to change the code so workers get paid double time for working over 60 hours a week. We'll put in here an else if. So if hours are greater than 60, then we can copy paste. And then we might want to say, okay, hours minus 60. And we might think that works nicely. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Let's test it. That's what we do as engineers. We build and we test. So I'm going to run this again. And let's just try our 40 again to make sure that it still works. 400, that's good. Running the code again. 50 hours, $10, 550. Okay. So it works. Now let's try 60. And we don't think this works properly. There are a couple of reasons, and I'll show you why. Watch what happens if I put in here an extra display statement. And let's add a similar one. And I like the word employee better, so let's make it say that. I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to run this again. In fact, I don't need to run the script, the test bed script. I can just type calculate pay, and it does it. So again, let's do 40 and 10, and you see that there's no extra display statement. It just gives me the pay. Now let's try 50 and 10. And we say, okay, the employee qualifies for time and a half. Let's put in 70. Oh, whoops, that did nothing. So let's do calculate pay, 70, 10. Employee qualifies for time and a half. So what's happened here is I put in 70. So 70 comes in hours, in the variable hours. And then we get here, if hours is greater than 40. Well, 70 is greater than 40. So it does this little block of code in lines 12 and 13. And then it skips over 14, 15, and 16, and then just displays the pay. And you can see that because I've put in this little, you think of it as a tracer, it says we're dealing with a time and a half case. And so that's the case that we went to, again, because the hours was greater than 40, 70 was greater than 40. So we did this case and never even got to the second case. So another way to do it is to put this case first. Now, if it's greater than 60, it'll hit the first case and then not do the second case. So let's just try our function again and put in 70. Okay, so now we got the employee qualifying properly for double time, so that's good. But I don't think we got the number right, because what we should get is and then double time for the last 10 hours. So I think that's right. 600. Okay, let's believe it. So going back up to the function, we think this should be a 20 here. And then this is probably okay. I think the hours minus 60 times the rate. So we'll run it again. 70, 10. What's 900? Oh yes, that's because this should be 70 times 10, because this is the 100% pay for all 70 hours. And then only 20 of those hours do we add another half rate, and then only 10 of those hours do we have the full 10. So yes, that's $900, and our function gave us $900, so we're happy with that. So again, 70, 10. Okay, so the keys on this problem were that we had to get the order of our cases right. Any amount of work greater than 60 would also be an amount of work greater than 40, and so if we reverse these roles, we would never get to the double time case. Another way to do it is I could have used the AND statement to combine, I'll just put down here, I could have put if hours is greater than 40, I could put AND here like this. So that would only be for the time and a half case. And you could see that 70 hours would not qualify here. And then you could do else if. And of course, you'd have to put in the right code here. There are several ways you can build your logic statements, but you have to be careful to get the conditions correct.